been called to my attention that we have frequent regular background sound effects on this video. That's Frankie. That's Frankie eating and drinking his water after his morning walk. So now I know that's the response that Frankie has to these daily videos. First things first, it's good to have this t-shirt back in the rotation. I had misplaced it, so it once was lost, but now it's found. Okay, we'll talk some sports later. That was an unusually busy sports news day on Tuesday. How busy was it? Some dude threw a no-hitter last night, and that was item number 11 in my sports blog. So go over to radicallyrational.com, our news, scroll down, and there's the sports blog, and we'll talk some more sports in just a second. So remember when JFK wrote Profiles in Courage? Well, somebody needs to write Profiles in Cowardice, and there needs to be about 7 chapters on Lindsey Graham. Absolutely disgusting. And there's the background music. Frankie, right on cue. So there's David Gergen, and he's 80 years old, and I watched him on TV last night, and I watched him on TV again this morning, and he's saying that Joe Biden is too old and too frail and too slow to be president. Interesting subject, and I'm open to it. Yeah, we've all seen examples of that. I'm going to say something nice about it in just a minute. But on the other hand, wouldn't this be Webster's definition of a dilemma? Yeah, I am receptive to the idea that maybe it has passed him by a little bit. Like Donald Trump is of sounder mind. I mean, that guy's just stone crazy, not to mention evil, seditious, insurrectionist, criminal. Yeah, this would be Webster's definition of a dilemma. A choice between or among unacceptable options. All right, all this horrible stuff going on in Ukraine, get strapped in, because by the time we do this again tomorrow morning, it could flat out be on again between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And let me say this, I'm condemning this unequivocally, without any qualification. The assassination of that Al Jazeera Palestinian American journalist by Israeli troops, completely inexcusable, completely unacceptable, dead wrong. There's mounting evidence that she was targeted. By the way, her producer was wounded as well. No, that doesn't fly. And I'm just really not receptive to this suggestion. What, you don't support Israel? I support Israel when Israel is right. Okay, and having a problem with a decision made by the Israeli military or the Israeli government is not being anti-Semitic. Okay, one of the things about Radically Rational, we call them as we see them on a case-by-case basis, and that was disgusting. That was absolutely deplorable. Gun violence in the country, you've seen the numbers all over the place. Gun violence numbers like way up, and I mean alarmingly so. And we're told that the only solution is more guns with less supervision and less regulation. My comment here is not anti-gun per se, it is anti-insanity. Good to know that Tom Brady's going to be okay after he retires from the field at the age of 63. And he'll know what to do with his spare time. I want to ask you a question though. You think he's going to be any good at that job? I don't know. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm not convinced that he is. Now, the one thing he has going for him, everybody admits this, is an unparalleled work ethic. That's one competitive dude. But I just wonder if he's going to be comfortable saying the kinds of things that objective analysts have to say. So that will be interesting. Urban Meyer, just a bad guy, and it's incalculable the damage that he did to the Jaguar organization in less than one season. He got a former player suing the hell out of him right now for creating a hostile work environment, and I hope he cleans Urban's clock. That's for sure. Boy, the NBA playoffs, they've been dominated by injuries so far, and now it looks like Ja is not coming back for the remainder of the playoffs. That's a real shame because he's a TV needle mover, and it also means that that series against the Warriors is pretty much over. PGA Tour players, you guys that are applying for a special dispensation so that you can play the first event on the Saudi Murderers Tour, how about just hell no? Wishing everybody a happy Wednesday. We are radically rational.